In the bottom left corner, the red Zerg, with his back to the wall in this best of 5, Jaco. And in the top right corner, the purple Protoss, up 2-1 in this series, the BSL newcomer, Shaky. And Shaky here. Pylon on the low ground. Most likely going to be going for a Nexus. Or rather a Gateway, I'm sorry. Meanwhile, Jaco likely going 17 hatch. Oh, Shaky made a bit of a mistake. He could have blocked that hatchery. Still gets the pylon off. Jaco decides to take his second base at the third base location. Maybe he could have slipped that drone in there. I'm not sure. It was close. But in any event, at least he's getting the hatchery down quicker than in the first game. Shaky also puts a pylon down in the gold base location. He's been very aggressive pylon blocking this series. Does not mind investing the 100 resources to delay the expansion of his opponent. Seems to have worked out well for him. You see here, Cybe Core goes down. So that's 2 gateways before a Cybe Core. And I thought it would have been gateway into Nexus. But we see here, 2 gateway Cybe Core. Will he go 2 gateway Cybe Core Nexus like he did in one of the previous games? We have 2 probes kind of idling here. A little bit inefficient from Shaky. Third probe even coming down here. He sends those 2 back up. They got to be mining. You only need 1 probe to build the buildings with Protoss. Meanwhile, Jaco looking to hopefully get 2 Lings out to clear that pylon. It should be his priority. Oh, and look at this. A 3rd gateway even. Now, if it's 3 gateways into a Nexus, I think that's a little bit inefficient. I'm not sure if that's necessary. However, if Shaky really does an aggressive build with these 3 gateways, I can see what he's going for. Let's see what happens next for Shaky. 3 gateways, that's quite the investment in army before putting that second base down. And now, okay, great. He's going for 4. So a 4 gate from Shaky. He's been known to do this on the ladder. So he's mixing up his builds here. And now Jaco taking out the pylon. So he should be taking that 3rd base as soon as possible once that pylon goes down. The drone should be on its way, to be honest. And the Queen pushing out the probe. But look at this, double chrono coming out from Shaky. He already has 4 zealots, so he's just chronoing out zealots. And this is looking to be a very cheesy play from Shaky, a 4 gate rush. And he's shown a good diversity of builds so far in the BSL. And he knows he's up in this series, so he's not afraid for a risky build that could possibly confuse Jaco. Jaco hasn't seen this before from Shaky. So compared to a player like on the ATAC, for instance, who did a lot of slow Terran turtling type play, Shaky has really mixed up his builds well. And now he's coming in here. He's got the probe with the zealots, possibly for a warp pylon in the future. And here we go. Slices up these Lings. Not really interested in the hatchery that's building, although he could have canceled that. Rather, he wants to get some economic damage done to the drone line and the Queen. Queen gets surrounded. No micro on that Queen from Jaco. And now the drones are getting pulled, but a few go down. And now he's looking to kill this hatchery. Pylon coming down as well. And we see here warp gate is being researched. It will take some time. But this hatchery is coming down. Let's look at the production tab. How is Jaco dealing with this? He's getting +1 range with 5 roaches. Roaches are a good response to zealots, but I feel like that +1 range, there's going to be some serious fighting before that's done. Maybe he just needs the roach count to be higher to stop this wave of zealots coming in for him. And look at this. 2 roaches get caught out. And that's not good for Jaco. Any loss right now is huge. because the Zealot count is higher than his Roach count. So he can't really stop them from killing this hatchery. Shaky just checking up the ramp. Now, if he pulled his drones and had all of his roaches and maybe moved these spines down, maybe he could have held, but the hatchery is going down. Those two roaches getting intercepted definitely hurt Jaco. And a shield battery coming down here from Shaky. So he's really investing in this position. And the roach is looking to cancel it. But the Zealot count's higher than the roach count. If the roaches can micro back like this, that would be good. Oh, a little bit late to micro back from Jaco. But fighting in melee range against these Zealots is not working out for him. You're supposed to stutter step micro back as you're shooting. He did it a couple times, but a couple times he just hung out there in melee range against the superior Zealot count and paid the price. So Shaky is unlikely to be able to break this position with 3 spines. He's building a Stargate, though. And all he really needs to do is deny this gold base. And look at this, the pylon block is paying dividends also. Because this wouldn't be so bad for Jaco if he could get the gold base up and running. It still would be pretty bad, to be honest. But at least he could get his second up with a gold mineral income. Could possibly get him back in this game, since Shaky has not taken his gold. But 2 base against 2 base is not a good position to be in. And Shaky is 1 base against 2 base. I mean, Jaco is, rather. And Shaky's coming in here. Despite the economic advantage, he just wants to press the issue, and he's looking for Jaco's head. Focusing down a Ravager, although he eats a couple biles. And Shaky is just aborting the mission here. So great hold by Jaco. That was a good trade for him. Some good corrosive biles. The spines were also getting hits in. And the Zealot's not having charge. They had difficulty closing the distance and getting damage off. So this army, with no blink and no charge, is a little bit basic from Shaky, but he's got the numbers to hold this position. But the critical thing here is Shaky's been getting his Nexus up behind this, and now he's chronoing out probes. And he's 32 probes to 21. So he has an economic advantage. And he has a bit of a stranglehold on this natural location. So if he can keep Jaco on 1 base, he has the win. And it shouldn't be hard for Shaky to deny mining in this gold. I mean, Blink Stalkers, or just regular Stalkers, can abuse this mineral line patch. And Shaky, we see the pylon placement. He wants to keep tabs on the development of that gold base. Because he knows if he can deny mining on the gold, he has this game won and this series won. It's the only hope for Jaco is getting that gold up and running. And we see here no worker transfer from Jaco. Pylon coming down from Shaky. I would immediately be transferring workers to that gold base location and placing static defense down, spores and spines, to protect it. But the roaches will force a cancel from that pylon. But Shaky sneaks another pylon in there before the creep spreads out. But the roach ravager just coming back. They take out the pylon. And I feel like Shaky should have been able to predict that. So I feel like he donated 100 minerals to his opponent there. Now he places it further back. And meanwhile, double Void Ray is being chronoed from these proxy starports with the shield battery. A little bit unconventional from Shaky, but he feels like if he controls what happens here and stops mining here, well, he has this game won. But Jaco coming out with Roach Ravager now realizes that there is a proxy battery in starports suppressing him. He's got some Hydra behind it. So Jaco's Roach Hydra in a straight up fight actually should trade pretty well against this unit composition. The Hydra should be able to get the better of the Void Rays. And these Zealots, I'm not even sure if they have charge. Let's look at the upgrades tab. I mean, no real upgrades from Shaky. No blink, no charge. He just has Warp Gate. And Jaco has Missile 1 with Carapace. So he's got 1/1 Roach Ravager with a Lurker even. So his actual army is not bad. Maybe if he can move these spines forward against this static defense line and force an engagement, it would work well for him. But Shaky coming in here. Maybe he waited a bit too long. He waited for a Spore to get up before he actually abused this position with his Void Rays, but it's not going to make a big difference. He focuses them down quickly, focuses down the Queen, and he has totally disrupted mining in this base, getting a few drones. Hydras come to the defense. But only the shields are bruised, mostly, from the Void Rays. So they'll go back to the battery to recharge the shields. And meanwhile, Jaco looks like he's posturing. Oh, he's attacking into this position. Wile's going down. Hydra's coming back. I feel like he should have moved his Spine Crawlers into this fight beforehand also. And if the Void Rays clear the Hydras, they'll be able to clear all the rest of this. The Void Rays clear the Hydras. Not enough anti-air. And the Lurker is going to town here. It's not being detected, but this is just too much damage from the Void Rays. Not enough anti-air. GG is called by Shaky. A little bit of gloating in the face of Jaco. It looks like he has secured this series. Overlord's being sniped now. Jaco's back is to the wall. He's abusing this air superiority. Now going to focus down this high energy Queen. One Spore Crawler and a couple Queens is not going to be enough. And it doesn't matter. The Void Ray count is out of control. Some Hydras get hatched. Spore got some shots in, but it's still not going to be enough. And it looks like Shaky's going to advance in this series. He's going to be fighting on the ATAC in the finals. Since both have secured a victory against Jaco, and Jaco is 0-2, there is no need for a further placement match in this tournament. So Shaky, the newcomer, has proved his worth with a variety of builds in this series, and unfortunately for Jaco, he is knocked out of the tournament. And Shaky will be fighting on the ATAC in the finals. Good game.